Many teachers say that their students are not good at discussion because only 1 or 2 kids are willing to talk. That's why the think time strategies are so useful. Many students need time and space to develop their ideas before they feel ready to go public with them in a large group. Here we present 3 strategies that support this practice time for students. In partner talk, the teacher simply pauses and asks the students to consider a particular question with the person nearest them for a brief period, usually no more than a minute or so. This kind of brief, low-stakes exploratory talk has many benefits. Students who might be shy or afraid to go public with their ideas in front of the entire class get a chance to practice their ideas in a low-pressure environment. For English language learners, this private practice ground can be especially helpful, both for hearing and rehearsing their ideas in English. So using this strategy can help you increase participation. After a partner talk, you will be able to call on students who might otherwise not volunteer.
So we need to start thinking, how can we compare the volumes of liquids? So I want everyone to just take a minute and think. How can we compare them? And then I want you to actually turn to a partner next to you. Maybe just talk about it for a quick second. How would you compare the volumes of liquids? Go ahead and turn to someone next to you.
I would put them in different containers like that.
Now, let's get back to this discussion about the weight of the rock or the volume of the rock. We're going to work on that idea today. We're going to test whether or not it's the weight that makes the water rise higher or the volume. All right, so talk to your partner about that for a minute, and then we're going to make some rules up.
Successful teachers use partner talk strategically in 2 ways. Often they plan for partner talk in advance, coming up with a discussable question to be used at a well-timed point to get every student involved. Alternatively, it sometimes happens that a question arises that puzzles the group, and no one knows what to say, teacher included. This can become a wonderful, spontaneous moment to launch a partner talk. Before launching a discussion, once a clear question has been posed, it is often helpful to give students a chance to write silently. This gives everyone a chance to focus their thinking, to formulate and clarify their ideas. It helps build equity by giving everyone something to say at the beginning of the discussion. Quiet or shy students can often be called on and simply asked to read what they have written.
To predict, it says, which factor makes the water rise higher? Is it weight, volume, or both? I want everyone right now to take just a minute to maybe jot down their predictions, because we're going to be testing this out. What is it that you think makes the water level rise? Is it the weight of the object? Is it the volume or the size of the object? Or do you think it's both? Take a minute and think. Just take a minute to jot down your prediction. And of course, we always give our reasoning why. Don't just say, I think it's volume, or I think it's weight, or I think it's both. Make sure you give a reason for it.
Finally, there is wait time. Simply giving students a space to develop and explain a complex idea. Take your time. We'll wait. Wait time might seem like an unusual talk move because it's actually silence. A pause in the talking. But it's the most researched of all the talk moves, and it's been shown to have remarkable effects on the quality of both students and teachers' thinking. The research on wait time is extensive. Several different situations have been described as powerful opportunities to give students time to think. The first is after you've asked a question, but before you've called on a particular student. This gives the whole class time to think, rather than favoring the few students who are quick to put their hands up.
What we're focusing on today is what causes water level to rise. Who can kind of explain what that question means? What does that mean? What does that question even asking? What causes water level to rise? What do you think that question's asking?
Another situation that calls for wait time is after you've called on a student, but that student is getting off to a very slow start. Giving the student time to think can boost confidence over time and lets every student know that they have a right to the time they need to make a contribution.
How do you know this one has much more volume?
Because it has more space.
What do you mean when you say it has more space? Why do you think that C has the greatest volume? And it has the greatest amount of water in it?
Yet another kind of wait time is after a student speaks, before you respond in any way to what the student has said. This gives everyone time to think about that idea. The research, at all grade levels and across all subject domains, shows that if you increase your wait time to a mere 3 seconds or more, dramatic changes take place. Students say more. The length of student responses increases between 300 and 700%. They expand and clarify and explain their thinking with evidence. The number of questions asked by students increases dramatically. Student-to-student talk increases. Increasing wait time after a student has talked is particularly powerful in increasing the complexity of student explanations and depth of reasoning. It also increases the amount of student-to-student talk, where students spontaneously address a peer or ask a question of someone in the group.